I've got 2 quality of life improvements for backpacking this season, and they're easy to DIY. I'm Cam, you're watching Hiking with Cam. Do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to my channel for more DIY backpacking ideas. Alright, let's get into the first one right now. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about the Igneous Nobo bottle. There's been a big push to get rid of the Smartwater bottle, and there's been different bottles that have come onto the market. My favorite one so far is the Igneous. However, there is one issue with it that really drives me crazy, and I bet when I point it out, it'll drive you crazy too, so I apologize in advance. The bottle is a great replacement for the Smartwater bottle, and I love how it's multi-use, and you don't have to worry about the kind of single-use plastics like breaking down and getting chemicals and stuff like that into your drinking water. I also like that it's made in the USA. But the big problem is when I go to grab this thing on the back of my pack, my hands slip. And this thing is extremely slippery and it's very hard to get a grip on this. So I created a really simple 3D printed file that simply slips over the top, and it's pretty firmly pressure fit on. But the cool thing about this is it's actually printed in TPU. And if you're familiar with 3D printing, you know that a lot of 3D printed stuff you can't flex like this. So it's kind of like this rubbery, textury material. And you can see this just provides a little bit of grip and allows you to hold this in your hand a little bit easier without it slipping out, especially when you're reaching back to grab it out of your pack. That's really where the slipperiness of this can cause the biggest problems. It does this with my hands, but imagine if you had gloves or something like that on, it might even be worse. So I'm going to release this file, and I'm going to put it on my MakerWorld account so you guys can download and print it for free. I'll also sell it on my Etsy shop as well. I'll link that below. Really good for grip, and I've knurled the edges to make it even more grippy. So it actually looks kind of cool, but it really serves a functional purpose too. The other thing is this is pressure fit pretty good on here, but if you want, I was experimenting this morning with some double-sided tape, and you can put a little bit of double-sided tape here and then get your tape in there. And once you have that, I had a pretty solid connection, and it's almost like this thing wasn't going anywhere at all with that double-sided tape. Also, just another tiny little hack with this, you can slide this thing down to 12 ounces, and then now you have a visual indicator of exactly how much water to put in. All right, so moving on to the next one. We all carry these long-handled spoons, and these are great for eating out of those, deep mylar dehydrated food bags like the mountain houses and stuff. Having these sharp edges here is really uncomfortable for, eating and stuff like that. It's really uncomfortable on your fingers. I don't know, maybe I just have like kind of dry skin or something like that, but it really digs in and it'll kind of leave this little mark on the side of my finger. I don't think that there's a 3D printed solution. There may be. I couldn't find a 3D printed solution, but what I did find, and what I urge you guys to do, is go to your hardware store and ask for foam piping. And I got a little piece of foam piping. So this is like, what, 1.5 inches wide. And the inner diameter is about the same as the diameter of these spoons. So this one, it was about 13 millimeters wide, and this one's about 15 millimeters wide. So I got one, in that range, and I kind of tested a bunch of them out. I brought my spoon with me, and I found some of this foam piping that worked, and this thing slides right over here. The difference in eating with this thing on versus with it off is totally like night and day. I was like going around to my family members and I was having them first try this, and then I had them try this, and everyone was like, oh yeah, this is so much more comfortable. So, it's a little thing. You can either pick it up at a hardware store, or I am probably going to sell them on my Etsy shop as well. So far I've tested this on the Toaks spoon, and then I've got the Tito titanium spoon, but I think a lot of these titanium spoons are pretty much the same design, so I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, it worked for all of them. And yeah, just a really nice little life improvement hack here and here. So I'm going to release these files for free on Maker World, or sell this on my Etsy shop if you're interested. And then this one, there's no files to release, but I would urge you, go down to your hardware store, take a look at all their foam piping, and bring your spoon with you, and hopefully they'll have a match. You know, it's not that expensive. Usually they sell it by the foot. And yeah, so these are some of the things that I've been messing around with in my shop over the last few weeks. Just thought I'd share them with you. Hopefully you guys get some value out of this. And by the way, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm really trying to grow a community here. Also, please like the video. I'm always coming up with ideas and stuff like this, and I plan to make many more videos in the future. So make sure you subscribe and you know, check out all of my content. Also leave comments. That helps me think of other ideas, and you know, some people will say, this is great. Some people will say, you might want to change this. And I actually listen to all that feedback and I implement that into revisions of this stuff. Anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I hope you're having a great new year, and I will see you guys out there.